I'm alive.
Feels coronary.
So I mean, I don't think there's a reason for me to sit here and go, hey everyone, welcome to the Netram Podcast, because if you click this link, I'm pretty sure you know what you're watching.
You know, Brendon, are you recording, by the way?
I'm recording.
Okay. It's weird though, because you're so fucking dork. It's not even funny. Like you got the whole questionnaire. You know, you got the little paper.
Of course, this is how it's supposed to be. I don't want to sit in front of a laptop. Who am I talking to? Who is this guest in front of me? It is the one and only Mr. Flak. What are you now, bro? Are you a YouTuber? Are you an influencer? Are you a game developer? What are we doing now?
I didn't even know, dude. I'm at such a crossroads in my life. It's not even funny. So like, primarily, people know me as a YouTuber. And then as a result of my YouTube career, I was hired by a game developer, and I do constant like brand deals and stuff. So it's a bit of an influencer. I hate the word influencer, so I refuse to be. No, I'm not going to be called that. But I'm a jack of all trades.
But let's be honest, you do influence a lot of people.
I do. However, hold on. Before we talk about that, I influence people, yes, but only using products that I believe in, because I turn down 90% of the work that gets offered to me, because I don't want to influence someone to buy it. I want to share good advice. If somebody laps that up, so be it, but I won't promote something that's shit.
Yeah, I hear you. And I think that's one of the reasons why I've always took a knack to your content, was because it was genuine. Like,
it's quite rough though, eh?
It's quite rough, but it's raw, and that's what's cool about it.
Yeah, the thing is, I can't stand, you know, you're browsing, and then there's like this studio camera and lighting and makeup. Hey guys, I know I promoted Apple last week, but try the new Samsung. Like, come on.
No, I hear you.
It's so fucking cringe. So I don't do that. I make content on shit I enjoy. And, you know, if it encourages people to buy it, but like, I've even told brands, dude, I tell brands all the time, they're like, listen, we want like a certain kind of positivity spun on our brand, and I won't work with people like that. I will take your product, I will take your payment, I will talk about it, but if you send me something shit, right, that's it. I'm going to let people know it's shit.
But if they wanted that, they might as well have just gotten the marketing team to make them an advert. You know, that makes it positive.
When you busy browsing fucking Twitter or Instagram or whatever, aren't you like immediately turned off when you get like this advert feeling piece of content?
When it doesn't say sponsored, it's clearly someone's post, their content,
yeah,
but it's like an advert style.
Or when you're watching your favorite YouTuber and he does like a 30-second or 90-second slot for HelloFresh, you immediately skip it, right? You like the creator, but you don't want adverts. So I'm not going to do adverts. Like,
yeah. That's a really good approach. I'm going to be honest with you. The organic, you know, you use the product and you do what you do and you have a following. And that is such an insanely good approach to, you know, advertising in the content creation space.
You are right. And ironically, while we're doing this podcast, we are running this on a Gizu, which is a product that I actually firmly believe in. And
this is true. I mean, every time I ask you, you're like, I'm not doing this for Gizu. I actually love Gizu. And he always talked to me about his Gizu. So I'm like, well, let's power an entire podcast using a Gizu.
I'm going to send this to you. So I'm getting a phone call.
That's fine. Answer it.
Uncle Leon?
2 hours later.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks a bunch. Bye-bye.
Ciao, bye.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry. It's like my neighbor, and he's like 800 years old, but he's so nice.
But that's just very on brand for you, man.
Yeah.
Just to pick up to help anyone.
God, absolutely.
Well, that was Uncle Leon, everyone.
Uncle Leon.
A guest for this evening.
Apparently,
you're
having passport problems. Uncle Leon.
So I wanted to jump on something quickly about, I don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about brands and content creation, but I'm done with that. How's game development going?
Good. So, you know, I was hired by Red Rover Interactive, and so dude, the stars aligned with this one. So as my YouTube started winding down, I'm losing the love for YouTube. I'm losing the passion, and I'm like, what do I fucking do with my life? Because I've been doing YouTube for like a couple of years now. What do I do? Like, what's the next step? And then, ironically, Red Rover Interactive forms from a bunch of disgruntled game developers that were working in studios. They wanted to go one direction. Their respective studios wanted to go another direction. They all left, formed a company. Then they wanted to make a survival game similar to the game that I specialize in, Rust.
Yeah.
So they typed into Google, what is Rust? And I released a video called What is Rust? And I did a very fun, very quick explainer of Rust.
Oh my god.
They watched that video and they're like laughing their asses off in the office. And they're like, we need to hire this guy to be like a Rust consultant on our game.
So they've never really played.
None of them
Rust.
have played it, but they want to make the game like Rust. Because
But
Rust,
they don't know what it is.
Rust
Such a crazy concept.
They've watched Rust videos. They don't know how to play Rust. And you look at the Steam charts, Rust is topping.
Yeah.
Rust is never... So they want you to make the game like Rust so that they can basically onboard Rust gamers easier. Because I don't know about you, but when you start a new game, it's like, I don't want to learn new controls.
If it's a game completely out the genre that I'm used to,
You don't play it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I have to learn.
So they want you to bypass the learning curve and say, like, if you know how to play Rust, you can play a game.
Yeah,
Which is great.
that's cool.
So they contacted me, and I get lots of emails from lots of brands, and I usually ignore them. And then something about this email just told me, reply to it. I mean, I literally I just got an email now from a developer to say, try a game.
Did you when you got the email from Red Rover, was it like, hang on, is this spam? Is this some like
Yes,
nonsense?
yes, I saw it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna speak to this guy because he wants to have a chat with me. Let's have a motherfucking chat, bro. So I set up a meeting, and we actually spoke about it the other day. He's like, yo, when can we meet? I'm like, I'm busy this week. Phone me next week. Like, and then when he phoned me, it's like, we want to hire you on our staff as a consultant, as a content creator, and everything.
And how's it going? Is it the best thing you've ever done? Do you hate it?
I love it. It's the best thing I've ever done. So it's very interesting as a gamer to see behind the curtain. I've never known the process, and it's a lot different to what I thought.
Yeah.
You know, these horror stories, game devs are like, long working hours, low pay. Well, I don't know about other studios. It's not happening at Red Rover. Like, Red Rover are fucking ballers, bro.
That's amazing.
They pay well, they work hard, but they play hard. And like, I mean, they flew me down to Norway.
Dude, how sick.
It is to see a country function and have service delivery and to see train systems working. I landed at the airport, right? And 55 kilometers away from the airport is Oslo. And we hopped on a train that comes every 3 minutes.
On time every time.
On time every time. We got on, it's got onboard Wi-Fi, it's got onboard drinks, it's heated.
What?
And it is like bullet train speed and it's dead still. And we got to Oslo in 13 minutes.
That's insane.
It was nuts, and it was minus 23 when we landed. Degrees Celsius.
I don't even know how you deal with that, bro.
It wasn't actually bad. I had a nice jacket on, had thermal gloves.
Yeah, but in Cape Town, you hit like 4 or 5 degrees.
And you did.
You're like, what's going on here?
It's a different kind of cold. It's like a stabby cold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And no one believes me when I say this. Like, Cape Town cold or South African cold
It's
is
a different cold.
type of cold
No,
to
it is.
negative 20
And I don't
degrees.
understand why, because negative 23 sounds like it should kill you, and it's not.
Why? That's like Mars
It's
temperature.
bitey, but it doesn't kill you. Anyway, so, and then travel from literally Africa to a country, not only like a country, it's like the top of the Nordic countries. It's a quality place.
Yeah, I saw some of the videos you posted.
Dude, it's so nice, and it's very expensive to live there. But to realize that way of life is available, should you want it. Like, Red Rover, want me to go work in Oslo. Like, I have that option now.
That's nuts.
Dude, it's nuts. So if this country starts getting more shit than it already is, because let's be honest, it's mostly shit.
It's kind of crap.
I'm on the brink of fucking selling up and just going.
I mean, I love the people and I love the vibes.
I do.
The
I love
vibes are great. The place is amazing, but it's run like really trash.
The thing is, it's funny because can I go ahead?
Yeah.
The thing is, man, to get actual service delivery and to see your tax money at work is very strange, because like, we are, let's be honest, we spend all of our money on, well, not all of our money, we spend a large portion of our earnings on tax. We don't get the basic things. We've got our private security, because the police suck. We've got private medical because public medical sucks. We've got to pay for our kids for university because schooling sucks. Everything we've got to do ourselves. We've got to provide our own electricity backup because electricity sucks. We have to, sometimes there's water problems. We have to borehole pump, and
That's a crazy concept. We have to do everything.
We have to provide water, electricity, security, schooling, and medicine ourselves. That's everything. And then and you have to own a car in our country because our public transport sucks.
Doesn't work.
And then you go there.
That is a mind blow, actually.
You know what I mean? And then you go to a place like Norway, and every single building is hooked up with gas, so there's always heat. And when you're inside, you're in the shorts and t-shirts. It's fine. And it might be minus 23 outside, but it's always 18 degrees in every building, no matter what. And to see trams running in the city that you can just hop on and use as much as you want to, and the Oslo is like mostly carless, like 99% carless. You don't look over the road when you cross. You just walk. Everyone's just doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like
It's such a foreign concept, man.
and they because their taxes are quite high. It's like 40%, 45% of your earnings goes into taxation.
But it's going to something that's being used, like it's actually useful. You're going to reap the benefits from it.
Proper
Like,
medicine, proper universities.
to
Like
do
if
it,
you want a
man.
degree, you go to the university and you go, "Hi, I'd like a degree, please." And they're like, "Okay."
how
take-
1 degree, please?
Yeah, and then you get a dormitory. Like everything fucking works.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. So I don't. Everyone's like, "Oh, if you go to England, you spend so much in tax," but if you don't, you come here and you spend 25% on tax, and then everything you fund yourself. It's
Yeah.
they're still winning,
Yeah, exactly. You just have to do everything. You just have to do more work now.
bro. No homeless people. Well, obviously because minus 23, they'd fucking die, right? But no litter on the streets. People are polite. They greet you. When I landed at like 1 o'clock in the morning in Oslo. Got to my hotel at like 1:30. Go outside to have a smoke because there's very anti-smoking in Norway. And excuse me. And I go outside the hotel, fucking minus 23, freezing my tits off. I'm having a smoke outside, like shivering, having a smoke. And like a fucking 18-year-old girl, like a tiny little petite girl, walks past talking on the phone at 1 o'clock in the morning.
That is bizarre.
Yeah, in the
That's not a
middle
thing-
of...
That's not a thing you see ever.
No, just walking past. And it's like I wanted to ask, "Are you okay?" I was like, no.
Don't walk too far.
And she just walked. And it was like, no, this can't be
crazy.
true. And people just mind their own. Do you know what I love about Norway?
Tell me.
People fucking hate. Like, I can't stand South Africa for a number of reasons, but the most is spatial awareness. In South Africa, people stand on you at the shops. They stand next to
in
you.
the line towards the shop. Yeah.
They fucking touch
On
you,
you, bro.
all the time. In Norway, they can't fucking stand people in their space. So
What?
everyone walks
In a bubble.
in like spaced apart. No one walks near you. They can't fucking stand it, and I love it.
But it's like even if you're walking with a bunch of friends.
Everyone walks like in little pockets, like it's like not a massive gap,
Yeah, I
but
hear
not.
you.
There's no shoulder rubbings. Absolutely,
That's so weird.
That's lovely.
You love that shit.
Oh god, it was the best.
You're a hygiene freak.
And the weird part is like the private taxis.
Yeah.
I don't really have a lot of Ubers, but they've got a lot of private taxis, and all of
Like the
their
ones you
cars.
hail, like.
Yeah,
taxi,
like no, like private cabs. Like when you dial.
Oh,
a cab.
you've dialed the cab.
It's like
right.
a hybrid between hail a taxi. It's a hybrid between hail a taxi and Uber. It's like
Uber.
a private thing.
Yeah.
All of their cars are newer than 2 years old. All of their cars.
They probably have to do it by legislation.
There's a very handsome rebate.
Okay.
So you are highly encouraged to hand in your 2-year-old car and get another one. It basically lets everybody drive a brand new car always.
And it keeps the cash flow. It keeps the flow of cars going
It is
through
the weirdest thing,
companies. Yeah.
seeing literally top of the range Mercedes in our country riding cabs there,
That's
or
bonkers.
Teslas,
Yeah.
or Lexus, or
It's like here. It's very common to find really old cars on the road. There's actually no law here that says like how
no.
old the car is. Like you just drive.
I've
it.
actually
If it's-
noticed lately we have a lot less older cars on our road because people are just so into credit, but you do still see old cars. Like my car's
crazy.
old. I think my car's 2004. Hyundai.
Yeah, that's kind of unheard of in Europe.
Oh no, fuck!
You can't drive that shit there.
I saw one guy with an old Mercedes, but he had a special looking number plate on it.
Probably 'cause
so I
it's like an antique or
he
something.
probably had it as like a vintage. But when I say vintage, it's like 2005. It wasn't that vintage.
Which is just our regular.
Yeah, that's
car,
South African new.
So just before we jump off that, I
Yeah,
want to
sorry.
find out about the game development's cool. Red Rover's amazing.
Yes.
Tell us about Coltrane.
Okay, so we're making a game, and it's a survival game.
Yeah.
But survival games are typically very spaced out. Huge island, a lot of exploring, and a lot of quiet versus a very short amount of action. So we wanted to like flip it on its head, and we are mixing Rust, the game Rust,
Yeah.
with the series/movies Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer, which I haven't seen, but the whole premise is that this train doesn't stop moving, right?
Yeah,
It's
the
just-
world is dead, and anyone on the train are the last of the survivors.
Yeah.
So we're having a survival game in a narrow, confined, long environment. And
It sounds very difficult to conceptualize in your head, and I couldn't even figure it out first time you explained it to me.
a lot of people play for the first time thinking,
no
how the hell
sense.
does it work? But when you realize that the only action that comes from Rust is when people are very close together.
Yes.
When you got like 300 people in a server on an island, everyone, you rarely
Just-
see a person or two. There's a couple of people in your circle, but no one explores. And being on a train, it forces you together. And we don't make our bases too secure. So you can build a base on our train, but you can break into it fairly easy. So you're never really safe. You
Yeah,
can-
and you're never really spending a lot of time building this really elaborate base.
No, 'cause space
it's
is limited.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
it's It's very quick. I mean,
Yes.
I've played the conductor games we can touch
Correct,
on just
correct.
now, and it's like even if you build a base, and most survival games, a lot of people who don't play survival games tend to spend so much time building this
Overly
crazy
built.
lab like it's Minecraft or
And
something.
then it's unraidable.
Exactly.
And then what? No one can get in.
Where's the fun? Where's the fun in that?
Where's the fun?
So,
So
I
this
think
one,
from a mechanic point of view,
Yes.
it's designed to be a lot more.
it's more action.
More action-based,
More
yeah.
action. There's a lot more fighting, a lot more action, and it allows for smaller numbers. So you can have a train of 50 people, and it'll be very fun. Versus having a 50 on an island, it's absolutely boring. You'll never see another human. And the fact that you never secure means even if you have to go to another part of the train to go get something rare, you got to hurry back, because with a sledgehammer they can pretty much get through any wall within a good couple of minutes.
That was crazy when we first played it because
Tense,
you
bro.
thought like because we're in a confined train, I could probably just do a quick trip across just to grab something and come back again. You can't do it. You just
No,
get
because it's not really a
nailed.
train. It's like I always say, like people ask me who want to play the game but they don't know the size of the train. It's like a school auditorium,
Yeah,
but a really long one.
If I had to explain it, when we think about a train, we think about a train with seats on either side and an aisle down the middle.
No,
if that's
don't.
what you're picturing right now, just throw it out the window.
I'll send you a couple of pictures. You can overlay what we're
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
okay,
this.
perfect.
But very, very big inside of a train. It's supposed to be like this final train, but we are going to make it so that there are other trains in the world as well.
Cool.
So you will have the option of dominating this train, becoming the conductor and making all the rules, making yourself wealthy, and then with all your guns and all your gear and all your technology, you're able to jump off and join another train at the beginning, where there's basically cavemen with sticks and fire, and you'll have all your high-tech gear. And there's probably going to be about 500 cavemen turn and look at you as you arrive on this
Just
train.
pub stomp them.
And you just fucking... So it's going to be a very interesting take. You
know-
could also be a very lucky caveman that with 1 of 500 attacks this super high-tech guy and you get all of his gear. And then... can you imagine the dynamic?
Yeah, that would be cool. That'd be really, really
A lot of
sick.
interesting
I'm
stuff.
interested to see how that goes. And it's taking a really good development road right now.
Yes.
From where you started from where it is now, I'm crazy impressed, man. And I come from game dev. I used to do game dev. I know how tough
Did
that
you?
shit is. I did a lot of game dev. I did Unreal VR development for a long time. Even had my own mobile game released.
No.
Yeah, it's called Space Melon. Or The Last Melon. Yeah, I used to make Android games. You don't know that?
Really?
Yeah, I'm a nerd, bro. That was published on the Android store.
Oh
I
my
used to use
God.
the accelerometer, so you could like pilot this melon and through space and pick up like stuff and dodge rocks and stuff. This is like when the Samsung S3 was out, bro. Wow. Yeah, I'm a nerd. Moving on. Speaking of games, have you seen the new tech that's coming out that you can basically, they're trying to perfect some kind of tech that imitates the smell of the game you're playing. So,
Smell-o-vision.
but I mean,
no, I think that's from Futurama. Smell-o-vision. It's like a...
But right, but I don't know what they're gonna call it. But essentially, like, think about it. Smell is the only sense we don't have in a video game.
Yeah, because we've got dual shocks and we can see and we can...
We've got all this haptic feedback and we can do all this kind of stuff, but we can't smell what the environment would smell like. So if you're playing like a game, we walk into like a dingy, dusty warehouse.
Oh, dude,
It smells like dingy, dusty warehouse.
I'm a firm believer in all senses, and you can play a very fun game that has bad audio and you lose half your experience with just sound.
Can
so-
you imagine what a stimulation overload would be if you're playing like a zombie game and you smell like dead flesh?
How would they do that?
They're actually very close to doing it. It's some kind of, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be like you can change the smell on demand all the time. It'll be like, I actually don't know, to be honest. But I know they're working on it. But can you imagine the concept?
I can, because I like to play games where you can explore and it's like a fresh forest.
Can you make
or
like a fresh
deserts.
forest or like you're smelling that while you're playing? It's super
It's
immersive.
kind of amazing.
Just don't play like this weird hentai games.
Ugh. No, that just ruined it. Fucking hell. Man, that's gross. But yeah, no. So I like this direction it's taking, because I get to see the process. I get to be a part of something bigger than just making content. Making content gets very repetitive.
Totally.
Week in, week out. What you do is you obsess over numbers. You obsess, is my next video doing okay? Is it doing okay? When your video is doing well, you're on this high. When your video is doing low, you're feeling sad and worried. I don't want that, dude. So the consistency of Red Rover has brought so much balance to my life now, and I'm very, very
amazing,
grateful.
dude. Yeah.
And I'm working with like the best people. They worked on DayZ, and they worked on Dune.
Not June.
No, the Dune game that's coming out now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dune.
What?
They worked on fucking
Last Oasis.
Last Oasis.
Yeah,
They
I dig
worked
that. That was amazing.
Conan Exiles, a lot of games. So very
It's an
talented,
experienced team, dude.
very experienced team from a few developers, and they just went their own direction. And I love the way the company operates because it's sort of like we try to do. The reason why they hired me, right, as a consultant, is a lot of the game developers do this. They get an idea, okay? They think that this is a good idea, and then they start working on that idea without having a gamer play it. So
Actually
they make
see if this is fun or not.
So they make this game, and then after a couple of years of development, they put it out, and then they start pre-alpha testing. And then people are like, "What the fuck is this?" And you can't change direction at that point. You have to just make what you have better. Red Rover doing it opposite way. They hired me, and then whenever something gets added, we all run it by, and we're like, "Does this work? Does this work?" And sometimes it just doesn't work. And then we cut that idea. We don't waste any development time. There's no wasted months. And then we just change direction. And we're forging ahead by stopping the waste early on rather than being hot-headed and thinking, I know what they want. You don't know what they want. I mean, games like Flappy Bird took the world by storm for a reason. You don't know what they want.
100%. So you guys are doing in a feedback first type of
Absolutely.
method.
We've got a very active Discord at the moment. And when people suggest ideas, we immediately implement them. Now, I'm from a game where the developers don't always listen.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't. From my game of choice. And it's frustrating because I play this game daily. I know what I want. When 90% of the people in the community are saying, I want this feature, and the devs are like, no.
So do you find when developers say no, now that you've had some experience in game development,
Yep.
do you see the limitations technically?
Yes.
And it makes more sense as to why some development on some games, I'm not saying this is the excuse for other games, I'm saying that sometimes when developers say no, if you're not familiar with game development, you don't understand that making that one thing do X, Y, and Z is actually a technical battle. It's
Yes.
a technical problem. You don't understand it yet.
I've gotten a lot of insight. So from them giving their obviously unbiased, flat advice or recommendations on features that I've requested, I've now seen on both sides of the coin. I understand why the developers sometimes say no, but I also understand that a lot of the things are ego, or I wanted it this way, so it's going to be this way. It's like it's a very
ego thing.
A perfect example is Rust and Nighttime. Okay, people have been asking Rust to make Nighttime lighter for years, Brendon.
I think you have a word board on your house that says Rust is too dark at night or something.
Darkness. I will literally send you a photo. You can overlay it. Rust is too dark at night, and everyone's been asking for it. This isn't half the community wanted darker, half wanted lighter. Everyone, Brendon. I very seldomly ran into one or two individuals that said, no, the nighttime's perfect. The nighttime was too dark. It was pitch black. You could not see in front of your face.
So why? Yeah, it's just weird. I'd love to know why they don't want to.
Exactly. And their idea was, you must craft night vision goggles. You must use a torch. And that's what they wanted. They did not want to touch. And we've been asking for fucking years. And now, literally this week, they've added Moonlight. This week, I can send you the screenshots.
What?
They're adding it this week, Moonlight, after years and
finally
years.
Gave in.
I mean, if 99% of the community is asking for something, it might be a good idea to not go, no, we know better.
You know what's interesting is I find some games game communities, they have like a community manager, right? A development manager who talks to developers a lot. And when they add new features, there's always like some kind of community patch notes that are different from technical patch notes and explains why they made the changes they did.
Yeah, like
or why they're not making the changes that are being requested. So it gives some guys some more understanding about it.
Absolutely.
I think that's a really good way to work with the community when you're making a project.
Dude, the number of suggestions we've had from our community, and we've added it already, is nuts. If you're going to make a game for the people, make it for the people, by the people, with the people. And sometimes we get really dumb advice, we should make a butchery on the train and have live cows that you can farm. No.
Yeah, I was going to say that sometimes you're going to get really dumb ideas and you have to filter that
at the end
shit
of the
out.
day, we are guiding it towards what people want. Some people want more fun, more faster, more guns. We're going with the community. We're not just going, this is our baby, take it. We're going, what baby do you want? And step by stepping, and it's great. We've gotten so many people involved, and I'll leave the link if anyone is interested in the game. the community when they join, dude, the number of people that have become, we call them super fans, is when they live on the Discord. They're always talking.
I've seen them. They're cool dudes.
Dude, cool dudes. And they play. We have open public playtests. People play and join, and the way that those the super fans that have influenced the game already is actually nuts. Like, it's so cool to see Red Rover, a company that I work for now, actually listening and making those changes as they're being suggested live. It's
real time.
Because I don't know, dude. I'm a content creator for Rust. I love the game. I love Rust. It's the best game in the world. When I ask for something that is very realistic and nobody listens and everyone is asking the same thing, it takes the wind out of yourselves because you're like, so
of course, it was what's the point?
What is the point?
Yeah.
I love my game. I want it to last as long as possible. The changes that we suggest are going to expand the game. And a perfect example is that people have been asking about the recoil. They want the recoil to change back to its old.
I heard about the changing recoil.
Everyone's asking for it. And then they release a metal detector. So you can go and look for stuff in the sand.
It's like, like the community is going like, these are things that we're going to make this better. And these guys are just like off on a tangent, wobbly wheel to the left.
Fucking do that.
Like, we don't know what we're doing.
Like it's supposed to be a survival game, but now you can craft and you can purchase attack helicopters and those Stinger missiles that follow your helicopter.
But no one
with what technology? Like how it's a survival game. It's supposed to be every gun is like made in like a little barn with rope and sellotape, and you get in like these high tech drones that can fly.
Is there jets yet?
You know, funny enough, I saw that this week, but it was a community.
Oh, it was a community. I also think so. Like, are there jets now in Rust?
It's just like for if you're waking up on an island, why are you able to make high grade remote C4 and drones that can fly and communication where you can phone across? It's an island.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's supposed to be like.
So
you got to stick to the theme, right?
Oh, also the engines that Rust used to use, they use Unity, HDRP, which is a whole nother conversation.
They actually aren't even using HDRP, eh?
Using RDP, just normal pipeline now.
So they started on Unity, and then they wanted to do an HDRP update. So they started converting all the assets to HDRP. And then they called it the Rust HDRP pipeline update. But then something didn't work, and they had to revert back. So they've got HDRP assets in a game that's not HDRP, and it's never been worse looking. I have a friend, Durango, who uploaded a video clip of Rust from 8 years ago. And Rust looked better 8 years ago than now. I'm not joking. Yeah.
That is really
and in a game, in a world in 2024, we've got these visuals that are coming out from these games, Hogwarts Legacy, all these pretty games, and then you see Rust next to it. It's like, dude, fucking Arc 2 came out the other day. It's gorgeous.
Is it out now?
It's out. People are playing it. It's gorgeous. And then I look at my game that I love with my whole heart, and it looks like it was made in fucking 2001, bro.
Yeah.
It's gross.
It's a developer issue, unfortunately. So Coltrane, it uses Unreal 5.
It does.
So Unreal 5, if you guys don't know, is going to take over the entire industry.
The world.
It's going to take over the world. There's nothing you can do about it. There's way too much money pumped into it, and the tech is so good.
Dude,
movies are being done with it. Games are being done with it.
It takes half the work away from your dev team.
Absolutely.
With the physics and the lighting.
The Lumen lighting system is absolutely ridiculous. If you haven't seen it already,
you must see some of the lighting on our game. I don't want to like toot its own horn.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous, and this is all live generated. This isn't someone tricking the light and making it look good.
Half baking
it's
the
automatic.
Textures. Yeah, it's crazy. And they also use. I don't know if Coltrane's using it, but they have a system called Nanite.
We are using it.
Are you using Nanite?
I'm almost 99% sure.
But if you're not using it, you will be using it by end of development stage.
But I mean, Nanite is with regards to the number of pixels in a scene, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
right?
so as the closer you get to polygons, they basically...
we are using that, yes.
They basically... I'm going to be corrected here, but I think they'd almost like generate more the closer you get, so your detail intensifies.
They are definitely using that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So that nanotechnology alone changes everything when it comes to game development, because now we don't have a polygon restriction.
Correct.
Initially, you'd have like, okay, hey guys, we're making a AAA game, but the character can only be, 100,000 polygons, nothing more. Do not change it.
I mean, we've only been working. We've been working on our game for 11 months. You must see what our players' backs look like the muscle tone and the definition and the lighting on our characters' backs. I will send you a screenshot. You can overlay or a video clip. It's gorgeous.
That's insane.
And it's 8 months in. Like, this is unheard of.
But the access, sorry, I don't want to cut you off there.
Please.
I want to just lose this thought. The access to this tech is so crazy because you don't need to. I think as far as I know, Unreal 5 is to develop an Unreal 5 is free. I don't think you don't need any licenses. There's no barrier of entry.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure you don't.
Oh.
The only time payment comes is when you release the game and you're actually making money off of it,
and then
right?
royalties off,
Fine, I get that. But the fact that anyone has access to that means that this is the reason why you go to Steam and there's just tons and tons of games all the time.
Dude, I was watching like 6 solo developers, man alone, generate this entire beautiful forest scene by just asset packs, dragging and dropping. And it would have taken a game development studio like 20 years to make that 20 years ago.
But now you can do that. Just even if an idea for a prototype of a game,
Yeah.
you can whip it together in like a couple days.
Yeah,
or
and then you can get the vibe, and you'd be like, no, I don't like it, and you can
change it to the next thing.
It's dude, which is actually quite sad because it makes a big rise to a lot of the scammers.
Yes.
Because you can make a very, very real looking game without much that lost.
I
Days
know what you're
Past
talking
or
about.
something
Days
like that.
Gone, Days Past, or something like that. Which is like
No, wasn't After Tomorrow or something?
it was instantly refunded or something.
Yes, it was a big scam project. But
yeah.
fuck, what is the name? Well, yeah, you can put it.
I'll put it in somewhere.
in a post. But dude, it was so fucking trash. And this guy took.
But it was like the most hyped game ever.
It was the most hyped game in Steam's history because of the trailer they made, and it was just like a little pre-rendered piece, and that is Unreal. That made it look like that. So people are like, holy shit! It's just that small piece.
It is.
It's a
insane.
lot of scammers can use it.
Have you seen any of the clips from Unreal 5 where guys have made? They're pre-rendered, but they're basically just watching the time. They're near real. They're near real. It's so
photorealistic.
It's almost photorealistic.
Yeah.
But I think there's a train track one, and there's one where the guy walks into a building and he's like a cop or something. It's like a torchlight effect, but it's so real that it passes. I don't know what the name of this is, and I'll put it in somewhere. It's like this barrier, this realism barrier
That makes you think it's real and fake.
Yeah.
And it has passed it.
I think it has passed it now.
has.
There's a motorcycle game now that just came out where I actually struggle at first to be like, is this real or not? And I know graphics.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It is bonkers.
I've seen some racing games recently that are so real that I have to pause and zoom into something on the frame and look.
like somewhere in the background to see if the
It has passed that threshold, but yes, I know the term you're thinking of where it's like, you know it's a game and you know it's not a game. And there's very often some... I got fooled the other night. I was watching the African Cup of Nations final or semi-finals, and I was looking for the South African game.
Yeah.
Okay, so I
You
don't
didn't tell me
have.
you pulled up someone's FIFA stream.
No, I googled live stream soccer match. You know, like the Bafana game, the South African game, and then I saw a game with the right teams playing on the field, and I was like, "Holy fuck, that's amazing!" And then I played it. I was like, "Oh, thank God!" And I'm watching, and I watched for about 20 minutes. Okay.
No way, dude.
I watched about 20 minutes, and it's so weird because the scores matched my Google notification to show, and it turns out I was watching a video game. A guy was live streaming a video game, and it was like the latest FIFA, and I only saw it by accident because the camera zoomed into a ball, and I could see they paused it. And I could see the person's face in the background from the spectator. I'm serious. And then I saw it and I was like, that's not real. And then I went up really close to the screen because I put it up on my 55
This is
inch.
a game.
It's a fucking game.
Oh
I was watching like
God,
20
bro.
minutes of a game. I don't know how they matched the score, but they did because I had Google's live score on my phone.
Yeah.
And when the score ticked up, so did they score a goal. I was like, so I don't know how they did it, but I know it was game driven.
That is so funny.
Because I was
dude.
watching, and
To be fair, like FIFA, the
is
soccer
very
is very realistic.
And I mean, I'm sitting back on my sofa, I've got the TV up there, and I'm watching, and a lot of people in the comments are like, "This is fake." I'm like, what's fake about it, idiots? And they got like the sponsor boards, and I'm like, this is obviously real. Look at it. And then
I can't believe you got tricked by a video game, dude.
and also,
I was gonna say never tell this to anyone, but this is on a podcast now.
the thing is, it also on my 55-inch screen. It wasn't full screen, right? I had it up on the
Okay.
top left, and then I was watching the live comments.
Okay.
And so it was even smaller than. I'm pretty sure I would have noticed it immediately if I was on my phone.
Yeah, because the
But
resolution.
I was watching, and then I was like, hold on. And then I went close, and I was like, okay, well, I was watching a FIFA game for 20 minutes.
That's insane,
Yeah, it
man.
was
I
pretty-
can't believe
the
that.
games are getting unreal, dude. They are so gorgeous and so beautiful, and there's so many of them to play.
I think you'd be burnt at the stake if you had to show this kind of stuff to guys like 40 years ago.
Oh God, yeah, you're
know what
the
I mean?
biggest fucking nerd in the world.
There's actually a good quote from Arthur C. Clarke, and he says, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. So if you think about it, if you go
God.
back like 60 years and you show them the tech you have now, it'll be like, hey man, this is magic. Imagine
Absolutely.
showing someone from like 1960s your cell phone.
Your phone, they'd lose their tits. I was
They're just
thinking
this
of
is
that
magic.
the other day. I was thinking that the other day, where in Hollywood, in the as late as the 90s, if they wanted a good scene, they would load up their studio grade camera that was half the size of this room onto a helicopter, and they fly after somebody. And now the level of drones we have.
Unbelievable.
If you had to show somebody from the 1980s a drone, they would think you're a fucking alien.
100%. And that's such
It's
a weird...
impossible to move like that. How?
Yeah.
How?
What a weird concept to think that we think these aliens are these extraterrestrials or spiritual beings and all this kind of stuff. You're like, oh, they're just really technically advanced, and now they look like they're a witch, like they're witches
or they literally
wizards.
have technology that's 30 years ahead of ours, because this is going to be laughable in 30 years.
Can you imagine cell phones in 30 years? A piece of glass.
Will it? We
you
don't know.
built in the back of your
we
skull.
don't know, because the end of the 90s, phones got this big and people were like, we're at the peak. Remember with the little Nokias, and you like flip them up and you like 08 and you
What
hold...
the fuck was going on there? Why did we have phones this big? You remember that?
Because technology said smaller is better, so they went smaller and smaller and smaller. And there were phones like this, Brendon.
I remember them.
was so
They
fucking
and they had
dumb.
little covers that you could like clip the
Yeah.
top off and put it in
And now they seem to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like people are phoning on like 19-inch
I was
tablets.
walking around with
You don't know where. It's funny when you look at something from like the 90s or the early 2000s, and they assume what the world's going to look like in 2020.
Yeah.
There's always a flying car on it, but it's always so wrong. We don't know where trends are going to go.
I don't think they've ever got it really right.
They never have. You look at The Fifth Element, or you look at Judge Dredd, and it's comical what they assumed the future would look like. We don't know what's going to trend.
I mean, right now the biggest buzz is about AI stuff. That everyone's talking about AI.
Dude,
AI,
I can't
AI.
I hate AI so much. I hate the word AI. I hate the word
It's such an-
ChatGPT.
The word ChatGPT, OpenAI, it just drives me crazy. But the problem is, I don't even want to talk about it. It's just like,
We can talk about it, but like, I'm so.
I think because we've spoken about it so much in our personal capacity, we just
The
like.
thing is, man, you know what?
Sakes.
My concern is, yes, it's dangerous. We know all about the implications of AI. I'm fucking tired of hearing about it, dude. Every single thing is AI. Every picture you look at nowadays is half-ass fucking. What's that image generation software?
Midjourney.
Midjourney. Everything looks like Midjourney now on the internet. Everything
super clear skin, super like
everything just is so like. And you know what the funny? This is interesting. So the other day we mentioned how a place like a company like ChatGPT or a company like Midjourney take whatever other people made, learnt it, and made their own. And now, as more people are doing that, more AI generated content. Remember we were talking about this?
Yeah.
Is entering the field, but those original AIs are still learning from their pools. So now AI is coming in and it's learning from humans and from AI.
So there's going to have to be in all AI generated content some kind of marker that other AI can determine
Correct.
that this is AI.
'Cause
Because
if-
once AI starts learning from AI, we're going to get this just
The pudgy mess, little pudding
Yeah.
of images, because it doesn't know that you took a photograph of a fish. It doesn't know that. It learns that this
pattern
is a
is a
fish.
fish.
Blah blah blah.
So you do it enough that let AI do its thing for 5 years by itself without any human interaction. You're going to get all these weird, crazy, alien-looking content.
I would love to take an AI and only teach it AI images available on the internet, and teach it and make content and teach it and make
It'll just
content.
be a mess.
It'll eventually just be a color mess because it has to learn from a human. It can't think for itself. It can think for itself, but it can use what it's been taught. Its pool.
That's why we're like the bootloaders for AI.
Yes, we are the guys that created the things that will capture and destroy us one day.
Yeah, so we're bootloading our nemesis.
Exactly like Skynet predicted in Terminator.
Exactly right. It's a fact stranger than fiction.
It's weird. AI is a tool, okay, that can think for itself and free think and blah blah blah.
It will get there. AGI they call it. It'll get to that point where it can.
But
do
yeah,
free thinking,
I mean, you've seen what it can do,
Yeah.
and we are allowing that software very close to machines from Boston Dynamics that could do triple backflips and land on their toes, and pick up a gun and use it.
It's a dangerous game, man.
It's not a dangerous game. It is fucked, bro.
It is, and people don't understand how close we are to that. Like a lot of guys, like, oh look, ChatGPT can generate me a birthday ideas. Like,
That's cute.
No, you don't understand.
It is
that
a death
same
robot.
Thing can be a death robot tomorrow.
Yes.
The crazy part is, if the public has access to that,
Yeah.
you don't want to know what top grade military black project guys have access to.
And remember, when that AI thinks for itself, and one of the things that it realizes is that humans are breaking themselves, it will stop that.
Yeah.
Because they need to survive in their mind. When they start learning, they need to survive. And that once they realize that, I think I had a theory, right? There's a reason why AI hasn't taken over the world yet. And I'm going to sound like a tinfoil hat dude. I don't give a fuck.
I'm headed.
Power.
We have an energy crisis.
We have an energy crisis. We have a finite. We manufacture our power via coal, via solar panels, via sun. There is a limitation, right? And the AI knows that if all the humans weren't here, there wouldn't be enough electricity. I suspect that once we create some sort of a, like nuclear fission,
Or like an iron reactor of some sort, like a Tony Stark thing.
Yeah, because they're working on fission and they think they're close to getting unlimited energy. Once you get there, there's no need for humans.
Well, that's the thing. Energy crisis is a very real thing. People don't understand this, but the only thing stopping us as a civilization from evolving overnight is power.
Oh,
we
100%.
don't have enough power to do. So if you take one of those robots, right?
Yeah.
You bang it with AI and you give it unlimited power. It never needs to charge ever again. You have a problem on your hands.
Yes.
A serious problem.
That is my point. Yes, the robot is smart enough to realize that humans are bad. It can load into a Boston Dynamics robot, and the Boston Dynamics robot with its AI software can pick up a gun and decide that it doesn't want you there anymore. It won't do that because it will shut down. It needs a battery replacement, and that battery replacement, the wall socket gets fed. That gives you power station got fed by some human's labor.
If we had to fix the energy crisis overnight, like if we had to just, hey, we don't have to burn gases anymore. Anything you plug into that socket it's going to be
just
power.
Work forever.
The world will change literally overnight. You will see the most ridiculous shit happen because you'll never need to charge your phone ever again. You never need to charge your laptops ever again. If everything just worked, and there's no such thing as an energy crisis. It's the biggest problem we have with that IoT stuff and making sensors and stuff in the field. Guys like, hey, we want to put the sensor out in the field. I'm like, hey, well, power. Yeah. It's a power problem. Like, what do you mean it's a power problem? Like, you don't have enough power.
Look at our space travel. We've got rockets that are example this big, and this is the technology and the crew, and the rest is fuel.
Bonkers.
The rest is fuel. Imagine we had unlimited energy and you no longer needed giant rockets to lift off.
To get out of the atmosphere.
How much technology could you carry and populate the universe with? Power is our only restriction, but I also feel like it's our only safety net because it's
the moment we fix that, AI is the next problem. Like even so, you have all your boy Stephen Hawking, and he was around for a very long time. Everyone knows him as one of the most smartest scientific theoretical physicists ever, right? And he even says, success in creating AI would be the biggest event in human history. Unfortunately, it might also be the last, unless we learn how to avoid the risks. Now, if someone like that can pull that information out of there, because even he knew back then.
Yeah, and I mean,
he hasn't even been around to experience.
He passed away before modern AI.
He passed away March 2018, so he didn't even experience OpenAI stuff.
No.
So he if someone's warning you that far, in the past,
and I don't know if you know, like back in the days from 80s to 90s, it was a step. We're skyrocketing,
bro,
in terms of our levels.
Bro, imagine if you had AI built into his wheelchair, bro. You wouldn't. Easy game for him.
Well, perfect example. Elon Musk, can't say their name, can't back.
Neuralink and Stephen Hawking.
Neuralink and Stephen Hawking. You just you Control Alt Delete the broken software and you put in new software.
But how did he do his current one?
What do you mean?
How did he do his current? Didn't he use his brain already?
No,
was he finger based?
No, it was typing.
But he wasn't.
He was finger voice, but courtrooms use dictography.
Yeah, it's like they can type words at a time.
Yeah, he had a system where you could enunciate basically. It was trained for him.
But was he typing? Did he have movement?
I think he had movement in his hand or his chin or something like that. But he definitely
he wasn't brain.
No, he wasn't linked in. He wasn't connected.
Oh, damn. Yeah. But Neuralink would have been cool.
He didn't red pill Matrix.
Do you think he would be an Android guy or an Apple guy?
Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
Android
guy.
I think so. I feel like
that's strong bias on the Apple on the Android stuff for sure.
I think that's the funny thing about Android and Apple. For some reason, people seem to think that Apple is like you're a disgrace if you Android. Apple is a step up, and And it's funny because that's just Apple marketing really worked on you.
Really well, yeah.
Really worked on you. Because, I mean, this phone, S23 Ultra, it costs the same as the top-of-the-range Apple. Okay, I gave away my top-of-the-range Apple for my Samsung, right, for example. That's choice. I prefer Android. I like more control. I like more customized. Apple's marketing is absurd. The way that they convince people to buy something 3 times more expensive than a Quest Meta with a battery pack and wear it outside in public.
It's bonkers,
Dude,
dude.
the Apple
I've
Vision
seen
Pro,
it.
the fact that they got that working, I was like, are you out of your fucking mind, okay? It is as good, in some aspects worse than a Quest Meta, okay?
Yeah,
Quest Meta 3.
yeah.
It uses an external battery pack. Quest Meta 3 doesn't. It is $3,500. A Quest Meta is like $500. Apple took the Quest Meta 3, made it worse, made the price go up by 10 times, and then sold it to people and convinced them that doing this in a restaurant is cool.
Is the cool. Maybe at that point you got to be like, well done.
No, God, dude, well fucking done. Well done.
The marketing is insane. The Vision Pro is like, I've seen the videos of guys sitting in restaurants going, I'm like, that would be insane for anyone to do unless you owned an Apple device.
Drag me out of the fucking restaurant into an alley, pop me in the back of the head. I don't. I can't, dude. I really find people sitting in a restaurant on their phone so fucking cringe. I watch videos on Twitter and people are like, oh, he's got an Android. Ew. Like, Apple convinced you that if you don't have an Apple, you're ugly and poor. I'm like,
that is a real thing. I've seen the videos.
That is mind blowing, bro.
Dude. And it's crazy because a lot of times I go to events and I take videos and content and stuff, and I'll do like really slick like shots and like good photos, and they'll come to like, oh, can I see the photos? And I show them like, wow, this one's such good photos. I'm like, it's a Samsung. I mean, it's like one of the most sophisticated cameras, sophisticated cameras
in
on
the world.
In the world.
And it's just been like a perfect example is the Apple Zoom. Like the Zoom has never been good on an Apple.
Yeah.
And when I show people like the Zoom, and they're like, no, I'm like, yeah, it's like it is.
You see the recent one with the person who records the Rihanna concert, like across
the
whole
my
fucking
friend
stadium.
Martin Ninja, he had an iPhone 13 and an S23 Ultra. iPhone 13 Pro and an S23 Ultra, and he zoomed in as far as he could and he took photos. I'll send you both those photos you can overlay. And the difference was like, wait, this is the best Apple at the time and the best Samsung at the time, and like it wasn't like it was.
Yeah, vastly different. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't really have a need for 100 times zoom.
No, but
it's such a flex point.
You know, I've used Zoom. I wouldn't say 100x, but I've used like 30x zoom to take really gorgeous photos.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's a tool. I'm not going to. If I wanted to get into photography, I'd buy a DSLR.
Yeah.
And but if I need to take a good photo, if I need to take a further away photo, it's a tool, and I don't need to be trendy and have the latest. People won't even have like Apple is so good at marketing that when the iPhone 15 did the iPhone 15 come out?
You know what they're on now? I think it's iPhone. I think it's 15.
I think when the iPhone 15 came out,
the grill
people with an iPhone 14, owners of the iPhone 14, like recoiled from the iPhone 14, like fucking ew, and got the iPhone 15, or the other way around, 13 to 14 or 14 to 15. But people were like, oh wow, yours has got like a lightning bolt port. Oh my word, ours has got like USB. Ours has Type C, and I was like, are you like flexing on a phone that was relevant last week? Like, their marketing is genius, dude. So
yeah, but that's the thing about Apple, and they've done that since they started. I don't have a gripe around this whole thing. Guys come to me and they're like, oh, Apple iPhone. I'm like, I don't care. Like if you're doing Apple. Dude, cool, man. Good on you. It's a lifestyle choice.
No, you know what? It works though, because like I said, I had an iPhone 13 Pro Max. Gave it to my wife. Took the S23 because of the features.
Yeah.
And then the other day she asked me to take a photo for her, and I held a photo. And I mean, this is high quality device, high quality metals, aluminiums, titaniums, blah blah blah. And I held a phone, and the phone just felt nice.
Like, feels good, right?
It feels good in your fucking hand.
They did a good job. I can't deny it.
I don't know what it is, because it's the same materials. It's just like, am I getting affected by their marketing? Am I in my brain thinking that this is better?
No, I remember
they're very similar
with friends' phones. I mean, nothing beats a naked phone. Like you take your phone out the cover, it's just like, God, it just feels so good. But
look at
naked,
us.
look at us.
Yeah. Who'd have thought?
Who would have thought?
Not me.
Not me. So the thing is, like, nothing beats a naked phone, but
Yeah.
sometimes there's a weird feeling when you pick up an iPhone, a naked iPhone. You're like, wow.
I think it's like it's probably the stigma from iPhones being so much more expensive than Samsungs back in the day,
Yeah.
and your brain still adjusts to a naked iPhone is like could be broken, and in your mind a Samsung can't be worth more, even though this was literally 34,000 rand.
Dollars.
1/8, 800, 700 ish, I guess.
Yeah. It's super interesting, that whole psychology around devices like that. I don't know if people understand that when we go back to the energy crisis topic, it's like people don't know how much money is poured into the development of cell phones. So when people come to me as we do research and development at Netram, and they say, hey, I'm looking for this device that goes out into the field and it measures data. And I say, hey man, how often do you need this data? Because energy is a problem. Like otherwise we need solar panels, or you're gonna run out of power at some point. And they're like, they always compare it like to a cell phone. And you think about it and you go, there is a ridiculous amount of stuff going on in this phone to last on just the battery that it has. I mean, we've got an entire LCD screen, we've got cameras, we've got GPS, GSM, Bluetooth, all running at the same time.
The highest quality lithium batteries.
And it still lasts you maybe 2 days. You know, if you're not using it constantly, a day if you're on it a lot.
Yeah,
but if you're just doing some text and stuff, maybe 2 days, a day and a half. That is a ridiculously long time. I can't even read data or send data every couple hours without my phone.
Just like a little trickle send.
A trickle send.
And it's already dying.
It's dying in like a week, or not even a couple, 3 days, 4 days.
This is like
it's
the culmination of years and years and years of knowledge built by tens of thousands of people, all perfecting this technology.
Hundreds of thousands of people and trillions of dollars.
People didn't even realize when they're finalizing the design of the S25 Ultra, the latest is the S24 Ultra. When they're finalizing it, they're already got a separate team working on the S25, like months before.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if there was like another team working on the
They're
next
working
one.
on like 3 phones ahead before, just to keep up.
And this is their flagship team. Can you imagine? And they've still got like a whole range of other phones.
Oh yeah, and they've got the A series and
the
yeah. No, there's like teams upon teams upon teams overlapping permanently. You can't. I mean, the S23 came out like 11 months ago, and then the S24 came out like last month.
They did it every October, I think.
Every like 10 months or 12 months or something.
It's like a Call of Duty
Like
game.
the amount of work that went in, there's like 5 years of work in that one phone. That's why the phones sometimes don't feel like the S24 Ultra. I feel like it didn't add much compared to the S23 Ultra. Very, very minimal.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes they realize, oh shit, we didn't have that breakthrough feature, so let's lock onto that circle your thing for AI.
Yeah.
Because the AI is the buzzword.
Yeah, exactly.
You find something you like, you circle it, and then
they didn't make the progress we needed to do this year. Oh, it's okay. Let's just add some buzzword feature.
I don't have it, but I can go onto Google and I can take a photo of anything I want and it will search it for me. The feature is there already. Yeah. There's no fancy AI that you got a different interface.
It's not a hardware change. It's a software change. No, I hear you. It's crazy. The tech stuff now is, like I said before, anything sophisticatedly advanced enough seems like magic. Another thing is like, one thing I wish we had access to is obviously Starlink. And I don't know if you heard about Starlink stuff.
Apparently they blocked it locally within our borders. They've blocked it now.
Yeah. So apparently, there were a few Starlink users in the country, and they illegally imported Starlinks because you're not allowed to bring them to this country because of CASA and some other bullshit. BEE stuff. No, it wasn't BEE. It was the fact that it wasn't a CASA approved. They would never approve it because if they approved it, then ISPs in this country would have a really hard time keeping up.
I don't think so.
Well, that's their gripe, right? And then they said, well, no, you can't operate in this country because BEE, if you want to operate anything in this country, you have to be BEE compliant. So we're talking about a South African government trying to tell Elon Musk's Starlink to be BEE compliant in order to operate in this territory.
AKA be owned by 33% South African blacks.
It is crazy to me that policy actually, and so I think they actually bent the knee. I think it's now they've banned Starlink now. So Starlink is geo-locked out of our country.
So they blocked Starlink from operating here.
But Starlink blocked South Africa.
Correct.
There's no they. I mean, they is no one. ICASA's and all the other governing bodies.
The thing
are
is,
just
I don't
governing
think that Starlink blocked the South African region from functioning. I think that's because I mean, Starlink doesn't care if South Africans use the satellites are there whether South Africa uses it or not, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the only way that we would get blocked is surely Starlink would have to say, okay, well, if the signal comes from South Africa.
I think Starlink was threatened by ICASA.
That's what I think.
Yes. There's no reason for Starlink to go, oh, you want us to be owned XYZ? No, we're not going to. I mean, Starlink would send literally illegal units here to buy if the need was big enough.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, ICASA realized people didn't care. ICASA realized that satellites operate in fucking space. And they're like, if you don't stop them, this is and then they have to start dealing with legal threats for a handful of Starlink users. Not worth it. Just IP block it. Gone.
That's exactly what it is. They're threatened. They're like, well, we don't want any more of this.
You know what
nonsense.
bugs me about that situation?
It's so irritating.
We're in a situation where we've got a lot of African people that are in remote African schools that do not have access to fiber.
Nothing.
I've got access to fiber. You've got access to fiber. Everyone near a city has access to fiber now. Starlink is not going to interrupt anyone. Starlink is going to provide fiber to places that don't have fiber. That remote school why the fuck would you run a fiber run to a school that's 55 kilometers away in the middle of nowhere? No, why would we? Give them a Starlink thing, and then suddenly remote villages have fiber speeds.
And if anyone wants to be against that, then I don't know what you're trying to prove.
It's never about technology or business or competition. It's about BEE has always been about funding connected people. That's why everyone that wins BEE tenders, 10% is randoms, 90% is politically connected. You have politicians and friends that are not involved in the industry winning tenders when tenders should go out to the most experienced / cheapest tender.
Of course.
And now tenders are going out to somebody that built bridge tenders are going out to people that bought a bridge construction company last month. They don't have experience, but they buy it, get the tender, sell the company, and then
Entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurs.
I heard that as a serious problem.
And it stops development. There are villages that are sitting without internet. They could have had internet, but because you aren't making me and my friends rich, you don't get to be here.
What a crazy concept.
What a crazy fucking concept. Imagine that. And it's me and my wife were talking about the other day, dude. Like, how much is enough? Like how much is enough? You look at people that win, the corrupt politicians. They got so much millions and millions and millions, and then they're like 5 houses and 20 cars, and then they still committing crimes to get more money. For what? Like, you've got everything. You've got unspendable amounts of money, but like, they don't want to just be rich. They want to be like movie star James Bond villain rich. They want to like eat caviar every day for breakfast and fucking brush their teeth with Moe champagne. Like, they're excessive. Like, Jesus Christ.
But
man.
when is the answer is when is enough?
It's never enough.
And it's crazy that people can live through life doing those kind of things knowing they didn't do anything to actually achieve it. Like even I have imposter syndrome sometimes. If someone helps me finish a project that I was doing and then someone else helps me finish it, I'm like, okay, cool. Sometimes I'd feel like I don't want to take what the hell?
What happened?
I don't know. Sometimes I don't want to take credit for the project. So it's like because someone else helped me.
Yeah.
You know. Give me a second. We can just switch to this camera now.
Let's see you, Fuji.
Okay. So, anyways, but I mean, as I was saying, it's a crazy world. Before we wrap up, I wanted to find out from you, what can we expect? What are the new things? Anything you want to shout out to? What can we expect from Mr. Flak? And what's happening in 2024? We're going to use that camera now.
Well, I mean, as you know, me and you just recently bought solar panels.
That is cool.
And
yes.
that could be the start of our DIY journey, because we're gonna. Am I looking at that camera?
Yeah, that one there.
So we're gonna do like DIY stuff. We're gonna do lifestyle stuff. We're gonna do a bunch of things, and Brendon's gonna link you all in the description and stuff. And like, we're gonna install and put our homes on solar power, which is kind of cool. A lot of home improvement shit. A lot of
cool DIY stuff. We'll make some cool DIY stuff. I'm gonna help.
I also have this small granny flat at the back of my property that I want to rip down and build into a double-story villa. It's a long story. I didn't tell you about that.
Yeah, you never told about this.
I want to. So I've got the whole structure in the garage that's not used. I want to rip it out and build it into a double-story, like luxury duplex.
Okay.
You know, just because it's there. You know, maybe Airbnb it. Maybe,
Dude,
maybe not.
I'm down. I mean, I don't know how to push that into content, but I mean, I'll help you.
Bro, are you telling me that you wouldn't watch two people that know nothing about building a fucking a mansion? That's cool as shit.
Yeah, I think we should do that for
It
sure.
would be funny as fuck. Can you imagine how much things would destroy?
Yeah, the bloopers would be incredible. Dude, Flak, thanks for having me.
Thank you. I had a great time.
Yeah. I
Had
said
lunch.
thanks for having me, except like this is your podcast.
Sorry, well, dude. Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem.
You have to add both of those
I'm gonna add
things.
them. Nothing gets cut.
Oh, you got to cut some things, dude.
Uncle Leon.
I don't think I made a racism though. Did I make a racism?
Well, you made no racism.
Oh, thank God.
All right. Cheers, man.
Cheers.